party?
The coronation was very, very important for one enormous factor. Everybody had a television for it. Now, I say everybody, we didn't. But everyone went to a television. We all had the invitation to go and see somebody. So a room like this would have been seated on the floor and people standing behind. It was that exciting. And the rosettes, we made those. The bunting that went up was not homemade, it was real, and so that was vitally important. And all the children were given mugs.
So when you say it was real, what does that mean?
Yeah,
it was.
You bought it in the shops, whereas you see previously everything was homemade.
Right.
There was nothing available for that. There were no.
It's so ironic because actually we're really proud that for our party it's all going to be homemade bunting. It's gone the opposite.
Well, yes, yeah. But then you see farmers' markets and things like that. You see, that's put the clock right back to the times when I said to you we were bartering with the eggs from the garden or whatever. Isn't it funny?
It does,
goes
Sorry,
around.
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
that was desperately important that we had proper red, white and blue ribbons because I had plaits on our plaits and things, and we did dancing in the street, proper dancing, you know.
Like waltzes or like folk dancing?
No, folk dancing type thing. Yes. Not Morris type dancing.
Oh, right.
Yes, but we were all dressed in this red, white and blue. And of course there were photographs taken. That had never happened before. There was a chap with a camera and he had a sort of thing over his head and looking through it, and that was wonderful. And the food was much more exotic. It was very exciting because it was a new start. We were still on ration. Things were still ration. We couldn't have sweets. That came later.
And now, when were the parties? So was it the same day as the coronation? Like after you'd watched it on telly, you went out and had a party?
It varied.
Okay.
But we watched the coronation on the day. Nobody had a party on that day.
Okay.
So I think probably it was just after rather than before, but I can't be certain of that. And I have a feeling that each street made its own choices.
And so obviously you went to the Olive Road one.
Oh yes.
You went to the Ivy Road one and the
they all
went
came to ours.
Oh right, okay,
they all came to ours. You see, this is how it. Even in those days, this was the main road, wow. And they all came to us. So it was a colossal thing.
And how were like the tables decorated?
Well, they had bunting that went like this,
like flags or
no, they went like this, and they were ribbons. They also had paper ones that pulled out. As I said to you, they were manufactured, so they were like this. And then you open it, there was a concertina. That's it.
Yes.
That's it. And they were looped all around. Beautiful, pristine white tablecloths. The chairs were brought from the houses. We didn't hire things. And what
did you have like pot plants on the tables or?
No, just food.
Just food.
Just food. Yeah. But there were wonderful busts made of paper mache of the Queen, and I suspect they'd been made at the schools.
Okay.
Wow. By then I was at the grammar school, you see, but I think they were made at and they were beautiful busts.
And so that was like
competitions.
Like sort of every couple of tables there would be a bust.
There was a bust of the Queen, which was lovely. I don't remember flowers on the tables at all.
Yeah. What about the food? I guess it was served on china plates then, or did you have
it wasn't.
They
were served on paper plates then.
Okay.
They were definitely paper plates. And we had given money to, all of us had given money so that they could be bought, and they were red, white and blue ones, specific ones, you know. And serviettes the same. They were also red, white and blue. And all the children were given this coronation mug, which was a wonderful thing. And my brother has mine because he collects things like that.
What is a coronation mug? It was like a a coffee mug like that had a picture on it, or
it was like a tankard shape.
Oh, okay.
And yes, it had Coronation of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and the date on it. It was white and it had a gold outline, but the picture was coloured.
And it was produced just for like the
Yes.
Olive Road party, really?
No,
just for this.
No,
okay,
just,
right.
Yeah, no.
I was going to say
generally
that's some organisation.
No, it was bought in general.
Yeah.
But the money was contributed by us all for these items, and each presented.
Yeah.
We also got a plate from the schools, but these were given at the party, and
lovely.
we also had a little bag with sweeties in, albeit they were on ration. There was what we called a tuck shop around by the school in Temple Road.
You know, it's probably still
that
there.
lady mentioned it. You know, the film
Oh,
that you,
yes,
you
Nora.
gave me the web, Nora. And
Yeah.
she mentioned it too.
Yeah.
And it was called Pictures.
Okay.
Pitcher.
Yeah.
You could get things off the ration there. They weren't what we call proper sweets, but they were sweets.
Yeah.
And we had a bag, and each child was given one of these bags.
Wow.
And it was decorated with a rosette.
Okay.
And I actually remember making some of those rosettes. They were pieces of red, white and blue ribbon, and you sewed them, put a running stitch through, and then pulled it up tight, which made it go into a round. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I'm not a sewer, but it sounds logical.
Yeah. If you do a running stitch down a straight piece and then pull it very tight.
It
then
kind of goes around. Yes, okay.
And those were on the front of this little bag.
So they were like cloth bags then? They weren't paper bags?
They were
Okay.
cloth bags,
Right.
And I guess they must have been made by probably Mrs. Sabine, the one I was telling you that made all the clothing. She would have done something like that.
Wow.
What else did people were very generous. They gave things. You know, nobody had much, so what they did have, they were very happy to share. We didn't have crackers. There were no crackers at that stage, but I do remember the little gifts, because that was
that's a really nice touch.
that sort of thing that you would remember, isn't it? And again there was music, and we'd invited people like the milkman and things like that, you know, people that came to the street regularly. And we had a man who sold Corona drinks. They were
Is that like
fizzy drinks,
soft drinks, kind of,
like Schweppes.
Yeah.
And he used to come round, and we invited him, sort of honorary Olive Road resident. You know. They were all good memories, in it, all of them. And that was the last get together that I was here for.
Yeah.
And logically, that probably was the last get together. Full stop.
Yeah.
We haven't had another events of that nature, have we?
No.
No, we haven't. I don't remember the wedding.
I think the wedding was actually the first time they started to try to get street parties going again. But certainly this is the first
I wasn't
that I've ever
involved with
heard
one
of.
for the wedding.
Yeah.
And I think they were few and far between.
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But certainly the three parties that I went to, even the poorest of streets were involved in something. Truly, they were. Everybody had something. And we all wore red, white and blue for the day. Yeah. I did wonder whether you were going to suggest that.
You know, I didn't actually...
Flitted through my mind.
I don't think any of us knew that that's what happened. But I might let them know, so you never know.
Yeah. Oh, and there was a fancy dress competition.
Now there is going to be a fancy dress competition.
Right.
Yes,
there was
yes,
that.
Yes.
And the improvisation of that was unbelievable. But great fun.
Yeah.
Great fun.
So what did you dress up as? Do you remember?
I was night and day. So I had half of day clothes, and then I had pyjamas down this side, and they were sort of pinned together. So one half of me was and the same on my head. I had a cap,
like a night.
Yeah, I did, and I was carrying a candle in one hand. I think it was a kettle or something in the other hand.
Brilliant.
But my brother went as a conductor, because he had a conductor's set.
Okay.
It was something that
Yeah.
kids had
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Other kids, one was a nurse because she had a nurse's set,
Yeah,
and another was a cowboy for
Yeah,
the same
same
reason.
reason.
They had
Yeah.
the items, you know. Oh, I know what else. And there was a gentleman, and he was the chap that lived in that house that Nora was saying she couldn't, Home Lodge. Now, Mr. Longman, his name was, and he was the group scoutmaster
Right.
for
Yeah.
the troop that was there. And he was a wonderful maker of children's furniture, not furniture, no,
Toys. Okay.
forts, doll's house,
Oh wow.
castles.
Maybe he made the doll's house furniture you were.
He may have done.
Yeah. Okay.
He
cool.
may well have done. And he used to sell them at the Scout Bazaar to get money for the funds. Now, the prize for the fancy dress was something that he'd made. I've forgotten what it was now. But yeah. he was a lovely man. Everybody loved him. He was just fantastic. And I remember the scoutmaster's name. He was Vic Tridgell. Of course, my brother was a cub and a scout. We all were. It was the thing. That's what you did. And the Boys' Brigade was housed in the Baptist Church in Sneyd Road.
Okay. What is the Boys'
The
Brigade?
Boys' Brigade was an association of Baptist members.
Oh right. Okay. So it was like a
They wore
Scouts
pillbox.
kind of.
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
okay, yeah,
Very
okay.
similar to a Scouts, yes.
Yeah.
But it was predominantly a religious,
Okay.
whereas the Scouts wasn't really. I mean, we had lovely principles
Yes.
of duty and honour
Yeah,
and such,
yeah.
but it wasn't really. But they were, and they used to march all around these roads, and they were at the party. They came down with their drums, beating the drums with their little hats on.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like a little
Yeah.
marching band, basically.
Yes, and we all followed them. that was what opened the party. They marched down the road, yeah. And in fact, they used to do that quite
Yeah,
often.
yeah.
I think it was on a Sunday, and with a flag flying and all that. But then we did that at the Scouts and Guides too. We'd have a church parade with flags flying, but we didn't have drums. They did. They had music. So that's why they were used for the party to start it all off.
Yeah.
God, I've dredged up stuff I didn't know was still down there. I'm going to ask if I could just pop into the loo.
Yeah.